Welcome to Brandoholics. I'm excited because today we have two real estate experts and we can't wait for you to hear from them. If you'd like to see more of our episodes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Well, thank you guys for coming today. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, don't be nervous. It feels...
I'm just looking at the mic.
No, so we're on a series. It's called Realtor Talk. So our last episode, we had Nicole Rivero. It was really cool hearing her perspective on things here in El Paso. We talked a little bit about the market, but I wanted to know more about you guys. I mean, you guys are a power couple, I feel, in real estate. You guys are doing big things. You guys do a lot, right? Multiple properties, like property management. So tell us a little bit more about like who you guys are. You guys are a couple. Let us know.
We're married.
Married? Okay.
Married.
Okay. Nice. And so you guys have a little girl, right?
Yeah, Brielle.
How is that?
Amazing.
Intense. I saw your Instagram story earlier of the drop off songs.
Yeah, bro. Every day we listen to My Little Pony.
Like, we don't even listen to our music. She's our boss. She's like, My Little Pony, Barbie. So she's always choosing for us. And then sometimes we get to.
Right now we're all on Bluey.
On Bluey?
Bluey is the main, it's the main show that we watch every single day. So I think we've seen the whole entire series like 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
it's intense.
But that's like a good show compared to others, right? It's kind of educational.
It's not like as stimulating as other things.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I mean, one of my favorite things is that I get to like watch it with them. So a lot of people, I think in Australia, where the show is from, they think that it's really weird that Americans love the show.
really.
And I'm like, I really love it.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's from Australia.
No, so you guys have a little girl, and how does it work? The schedule, is it intense for you guys right now?
We work together very well. So usually in the mornings, he's at the gym like at 5 a.m. And then that's when I wake up, get her ready, breakfast. And then he actually takes her to school, drops her off. Nice. That's when I get to go and start my day.
I feel like more girl dads do that now. They've gotten a lot more involved. Well, not just girl dads. I don't want to say... Like, I just feel like more dads in our generation have gotten more involved with their kids.
That's good. Yeah.
Because I feel like past generations, they really haven't gotten as involved as like us now. Gen Zs are kind of seeing that shift. But tell me a little bit about you guys. Like, how did you guys get into real estate? How is it? I know we have done multiple videos with Chris in the past, and he's given a lot of good insights. But Yvette, I would love to know a little bit more of how you got started with real estate, a little bit of your background.
Well, first, when I was younger, I didn't really even know about real estate. When I would go to Juarez with my parents, and we would pass the bridge, and it's funny that we have this conversation. We've had this conversation recently, how I actually wanted to be a border patrol agent, customs. And I would always tell my parents, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. But also when I was living with my parents and I was a little girl, I would see my dad have his tenants. So I would see both of my parents working, but his tenants would drop off money. So I would be like, what is this? He does, they both work, but he would get checks, additional checks. So that's when my interest kind of sparked, what is this? And also I started reading personal development books. So The Rich Dad, Poor Dad pretty much kind of changed my whole perspective. I come from very humble beginnings. So in my family, I was the first one to graduate from even high school. So I didn't know what to do with my life, and reading that book kind of sparked that interest again in real estate. And then when I was reading those personal development books is kind of when I met Chris. So then I never really mentioned to Chris that I wanted to, educate myself more in real estate. But then he himself got his license. Then I was like, So the neat thing about being in real estate is that we can do a lot with it. So you can be someone like my dad that owns properties. You could also help families, buyers, sellers, investors. So that's when I decided to take on those online classes, and then here we are.
When you met Chris, was he a little wild?
He still is.
So me and Chris go pretty far back. I mean, we joined the same fraternity and at UTEP, and it was a crazy time back then. But Chris has gotten a lot more, I guess, professional, you could say.
Yeah.
But he still has his fun side. But I still remember the college days is a little intense. Did you guys meet in college?
Yeah. I was a freshman in college.
Okay.
And then she was a senior in high school.
And I was like, who is this guy? Yeah. Like, he was very attractive to me. And I remember a lot of girls would be interested in Chris. And I was like, who is he? So then I just started researching him.
Swagger. Oh my God.
And when you're at UTEP, how did you feel about joining the fraternity? Did you feel it was like a good thing?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I always wanted to be part of something bigger, and my dad was in a fraternity, so I would just walk around like a GDI, goddamn individual, and I'm like, where do I belong? Blah blah blah. So I just saw the Kappa Sig, the table, the booth, and those were the only cool ones. They had all the trophies and everything. I'm like, okay, I think I like this one, because I got invited to other ones, but they were like nerds and kind of whack. So.
What's the craziest story that you remember from being in the fraternity?
Where do you begin?
One of the craziest. Don't let out any secrets, but maybe
like from pledging.
Yeah, I mean, from pledging, like, was there something intense? I remember me and you had,
because we were in the same pledge class.
Yeah.
So like we're always around each other, so we had to cross together, but. A crazy story. Well, in order to become a brother as a pledge, you had to know all about the fraternity, like the history and stuff. So I remember it's kind of like a tactic that they use. They always say, the brothers always tell the pledge class, this is the worst pledge class in the whole of, like, what's it called? The whole 10 years of Kappa Sigma that's ever had, blah, blah, blah. So I remember they would haze the shit out of us like crazy. They would make us get on our elbows and toes for like 30 minutes and recite the alphabet. If somebody messed up, the person that messed up had to stand up and watch all of his pledge brothers just like be there suffering and stuff. So, I mean, I thought it was funny. A lot of pledges, like, they thought it was like intense, like hazing, this, you shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. But I mean, it was a fun experience. I've heard stories from when my dad was at UTEP, and his stories are even crazier.
I think it comes with the territory. Like, you're joining in. It's kind of like in the movies, right? Some of the hazing is fun. Like, it doesn't get too intense. I don't know if have you ever heard the story of us going to, what was it, like Santa Teresa? Close to the border.
Story. When they just
left us.
Yeah, they just left us there.
Border Patrol started chasing them. Intense.
So it's funny because they told us it was like 20 pledges and only 5 brothers in the truck, and they told us, all right, guys, go. It was like the middle of the night, like at midnight. They just said, go find us a little friend. And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about, friend? So we just started like brainstorming, like, okay, a friend, like a little animal. Do we take we started like looking for something. And then one of us was like, oh, let's take him a plant. It's living. So we just got a little plant. We take it to him. Look, it's a friend. It's living. Like, shut the fuck up. Go find me.
It was the randomest thing, right? Because we got there. They let us out. And then Chris was telling me this last time when we were talking about it. Because we kind of ran away because we started seeing random people driving by. So we started running away. But he said he went back with another one of our friends. And I was like, dude, we got stranded. A guy came with his little Cobalt. And there was like 15 of us inside a Cobalt. It was probably one of the worst nights. But
and is it like this, like in most fraternities, or?
I don't know.
Worse. Well, some fraternities are rare.
Yeah.
Some do haze, but some tell. Like we got kicked out of
we got kicked out
because somebody told, and then but it was pretty bad. It was like at a party involving a gun and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But I mean, I think it got a little wild afterwards, but it was pretty controlled when we were there. Did you have any cool experiences that you had? You know what? No, you were just.
Well, I didn't. I actually went to, when I was working out of high school, I was doing a radiology program in EPCC.
Okay.
So then that's when I started taking my classes for real estate, and then I just became a realtor.
And I didn't know that. Like right now, you were saying your dad had history like of having tenants, having properties. Chris also, like your family comes from real estate. So coming with that real estate background, do you guys feel it's been a massive tool, let's say, as real estate agents, kind of navigating the field, like in 2024?
Definitely, because I got to see my dad work on his home, so I kind of was already introduced to it. His guidance also helped me a lot, the way he works, his tenants, and just life in general, his finances.
I want to see if it's true. Is it crazy right now? Like to have properties and to have tenants is having tenants right now like as intense as it was before? Because I've been hearing about squatter laws, and we spoke about this in the last podcast with Nicole, and there's a lot of people like now squatting at places. What do you guys feel about that? Have you guys seen any of that?
Hopefully we haven't had that experience, thankfully. But I mean, if somebody's gonna squat at our property, I would kick them out.
Yeah.
No, that ain't happening.
Yeah. No, because we were talking about it, and it's just telling me that like some laws protect squatters now.
Yeah. I've seen online.
Oh yeah, that's something new, right?
Yeah, it's something new, but we've been trying to because we're navigating also getting property and kind of starting to rent, but it's just like little fears that come up, right? And what do you guys feel like the market is here in El Paso right now, as real estate experts? Like, do you feel that the market's opening up more for buyers right now, or is this still a seller community?
I think El Paso is very different, unique from other larger cities. I think we also have to learn how to adapt as real estate agents, because it's always changing. Like with COVID, we had to kind of adapt. What else? The interest rates, we have to learn how to adapt. But I think we have a really great market here in El Paso. Right now, for example, there's still a lot of buyers, and you as a buyer right now, we still have a lot of inventory for new home constructions. But I have been seeing homes are starting to sell a little bit faster since there's still a lot of buyers. So I've been noticing builders are starting to cut down on incentives. So it's kind of neutralizing.
Yeah.
Where do you guys see the growth happening more? Like what sections of El Paso or what areas?
I think for us, it's always been like Horizon, East Lake, Far East, that area.
But people think that over there it's not that great, right? But it's pretty nice.
There's really nice communities there.
Yeah,
I like
beautiful communities.
Yeah, and do you guys work with like specific builders, or are you guys listing agents for anybody in particular, or is it just you're kind of open right now?
Yeah, we work with Colors Homes.
Okay.
So Colors Homes is our main builder that we sit their model homes, but we do focus a lot on resales. Because, I mean, new homes, they're more expensive nowadays. And a lot of people are getting just approved for resales. So I'd rather sit both and just get, clients from both sides. But for resale model homes, you get a lot more traffic than just new homes. Okay, so at new homes, you might see 1-2 people a day. But at resales, just recently, we had an open house like 2 weeks ago. We had like 20 people walk in within a span of 2 hours. Because it's such a good property, and it's sold, thankfully. But there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of business to go around. So what I always like to say, hey, how's the real estate market? I heard it's crazy for realtors. I always say, look, there's only like about 2,000 or 1,500 active agents. There's almost 1 million people living in El Paso. There's plenty of business to go around. But I mean, you got to put in the work. There's a lot of newer agents getting out of their shell and showing their face on camera, more videos. You have more agents be very very smart with their editing, that it catches people's attention. And I see it all the time. So I'm like, damn, like these agents are really starting to come up, like small, like younger agents. So now as experienced agents, we have to also be consistent with our marketing.
Yeah, I love that because I've seen, and one of the reasons why we want you guys on the podcast is because we've seen how you all pretty much value content. You know, you value putting yourself out there. For new real estate agents, what is like a prime tip, you know, both of you guys can give new real estate agents, and in like say branding? Is it creating more video? Is it posting more homes? What do you guys feel works best right now?
Dina?
I would say maybe don't care about how you look, or don't, if you're going to start off, you could do it on your phone. You don't need like a marketing company yet. Sure. Just so you could get used to the camera. I think that's what worked for me. Or even doing a lot of selfie videos helped a lot. Maybe just doing videos of properties, because I think I get a lot of great feedback when I do walkthrough videos. Yeah. Because people want to see homes, but they also want to see you and they want to get to know you. So, I would also recommend not being too kind of close-minded and be more personal and just be yourself. Because I feel at the beginning when I was licensed, I wanted to be like strictly very professional and perfect. Yeah. But when I just let loose and I showed my actual personality, that's when I started gaining more business. Yeah, like the authenticity of everything. Yeah. So like I've spoken to recent real estate agents that have come, and they're fairly new, but I feel like they always wanted it to kind of be perfect. You know, they want to start like perfection. And what we've said is like perfection is not the goal, but it is something that you're striving, right? But as a new real estate agent, I feel if you just come out with content, again, how you said, like your phone, there's so much cool ideas. I mean, one idea I was thinking last time for a real estate agent would be cool is if like they did a POV, you know, like a point of view from their perspective of what clients are seeing, and you see it a lot on TikTok, right? You see it a lot on TikTok, but you don't really see it in the real estate industry, like some point of views. What are you guys following trends right now? Or are you guys kind of just showing homes? What is it that you guys are putting out as content?
I think the trend right now is the walkthrough videos. Okay. That is a trend. A lot of people are doing it. I think in order to stand out, you not only have to do that, but you have to make it look very professional. A lot of agents are doing the walkthrough videos. And I actually got this word of advice from Isaac Lightborn. Shout out Isaac. He's a phenomenal agent. He's only like, 2-3 years in. He's already killing it. But anyways, he told me.
And he's one of the younger ones.
Yeah, he's one of the younger ones. He's like 21. And then, yes, do walkthrough videos, but at least invest in a stabilizer. At least invest in a mic. Make it look professional. Yeah. Like if you're just doing a walkthrough video with your phone, yes, it's going to look cool because the house is beautiful. But the more professional you try to be, more attraction you're going to get for your videos. So get a stabilizer, get a mic, make it look very high quality. That's what people are looking at. That's what grabs attention, because everybody's doing it. Maybe because I follow a lot of agents, I see it all the time. But I mean, you just got to stand out one way. I like to show my face. I like to be in front of the camera because people remember me. They're like, oh my God, Chris, or whatever. Yeah. Just because I show my face all the time. And I've always said faces sell. Yeah. People are going to do business with you if they like you, know you, and trust you. So the more you show your face, the more business you're going to get. Yeah. And
like, speaking on him, I mean, he's one of the younger agents. And I feel like a lot of people think I'm young, they're not going to respect me, or I'm not going to get any clients. But you see that statistically now, I mean, the generation that's buying homes, it's like a more younger crowd, right? They're the new home buyers. So being young, I don't feel like is an issue, because I've had real estate agents tell me as well, like, I feel like I look too young, I need to dress up more, stuff like that. But you see guys like him, they're being authentic, right?
I remember he used to wear suits all the time, but now he's just himself. Yeah. Gets even more business. Me, I've always worn suits because I like how it looks, right?
You look good, man.
But I mean, a lot of buyers, they see me without a suit. They're like, oh my God, I've never seen you without a suit. Yeah. I personally like that. I like dressing up professionally, looking the part.
Yeah, I just saw that you got a tailored suit last night. How's that feeling?
Amazing. I mean, I'm almost done with tailoring the pants because it was custom.
Okay.
Completely because they showed me a piece of cloth. So it took some time to get it to my exact fit. And we were doing 75 hard, so I guess I was losing a lot of weight. So it was like, it looked bulky.
How is that? I mean, you guys did it together, 75 hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the posts. I've seen y'all's posts. I've seen a lot of people's posts on 75 hard. I don't know if I'll ever do it, but it looks pretty intense. Tell me about that. How was the experience for both of you?
It's awesome. It's hard. It's challenging, but it's worth it. I think anybody can do it. What I would recommend is knowing how to time manage. It also helped out. I think that we did it together. So we would pretty much just take turns. Like, we are good at communicating with each other, I think. So if we have appointments, we would let each other know the day before just so we could structure our date to make it work for both of us. And also it helps that our family also helps out with Brielle too.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, you joined like a fitness competition back in the day, right? How was that? Was it kind of like the same amount of stress, like at 75 hard, or is 75 hard even worse?
No, for 75 hard, you just have more tasks. I think the hardest part for the bodybuilding show was the food. So you have to eat pretty much the same foods for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made bodybuilding harder.
Okay.
And the cardio for sure.
Yeah.
I liked 75 hard because I would just stick to a healthy diet, which we usually do already. But for 75 hard, the hardest was having the 2 workouts.
Definitely.
Which is,
you know what I love seeing about you both and what you guys post is you kind of, it's a family unit that you guys exercise together. You guys actually have done marathons, right? Or half marathons. And how has that experience been like? I know it's hard to find time, especially as entrepreneurs. How do you guys balance life and business and fitness, let's say?
We just make it happen. Waking up early.
Yeah.
Like Yvette said earlier, I wake up at 5 a.m. literally every day, sometimes even earlier, just to get my workout done, and then helping each other. So I help with Brielle. She also helps me, of course. And yeah, man, it's just helping each other, and we'll make it happen. I mean, she did her first half marathon in the middle of 75 hard, so I could only imagine how hard that was.
Yeah.
Because we did the marathon, and in 75 hard, you have to do 2 workouts. So after the marathon, we were toast. We still had to go to the gym and hit another workout.
Yeah, it's discipline.
It's all discipline. And even the diet, we had to only eat certain foods. We couldn't go to restaurants and eat like a burger or all that stuff. It has to be very healthy. So, I mean, it is hard, right? I mean, it's called 75 hard, not 75 soft.
Yeah.
So it was understandable.
Well, why are you dissing me right now, man? Because I said I'm not going to do it now. Now I'm going to have to do it.
Oh, shit. No, but I think it was worth it. It was my 3rd time doing it.
Okay.
And your 1st time. But no, it's...
And do you feel like that discipline brought you guys closer as business partners and also as...
Oh, yeah,
as
for
a couple?
sure.
Yeah. Because I can imagine like how much discipline really builds your character, right? And kind of brings the bond a little closer together. Can you tell me a little bit more of how you guys balance? I know you guys are starting Gil Realty. How are you guys balancing that? Like opening that up, also being your own entrepreneurs, being your own face. Is it kind of tough? I work with my wife. I mean, my wife started the company and we butt heads a lot, but at the same time, when we butt heads, we grow. How does that affect you guys as a couple? Like, talk a little bit about the whole 24-hour day.
I think like for us, it's kind of cool because we're not kind of like your corporate job where you're stuck in an office. Right. So like right now we're doing this podcast, we're working together, but then he's going to go to the model and I'm going to go to a show. So we kind of go our separate ways. And then later on in the day, well, we obviously live together. So we see each other again. And then just knowing that if we're not the perfect couple, we argue. So just keep everything that we're going through at home, and if we have to work together, learn how to put that aside.
Yeah. Yeah, because I find it hard. Like just yesterday, uh, I was at home and it was like 7:30 p.m. and I'm sharing these ideas with Priscilla, my wife, and then she's like, "Hey, you're at home. Like, shut it off. Like it's time to focus on home." And I feel like sometimes it becomes a bad habit, right? So, do you guys find yourselves having to like cut off your phone or cut off like specific things to like focus on battle?
I don't know, not
It's
really.
hard.
I mean, you have to be on the phone
Yeah.
24/7. And before Yvette was an agent, like I was always on my phone. She'd be like, "Oh, why are you always on your phone?" I'm like, "Oh, you'll see."
Yeah.
And then she became an agent, and now we're at the restaurant and she has to take calls. I have to take calls. So we understand that. And at home, me personally, I'd rather be at home with Bria when she's, after school, and me working there than, having to be at a 9 to 5 and
Of course, yeah.
not being able to see her. So I love that about the real estate. I mean, at the beginning, yes, of course, the first 2-3 years, you're not like that because you're always out and about. But now since we're established in this business, leads come easier, come faster, so we could choose our hours, thankfully.
And also, I've noticed that a lot of people think that realtors are super, super duper busy, like just up and down. And I mean, we are, but it's not like every single day we have back-to-back appointments all day, every day. So we go on listing appointments, but a lot of the time it's on the phone or like on the computer. So we
Like when people say, "Oh my God, I know you're so busy," I'm like, "This is my job. My job is to be on the phone." When people call me and they're like, "Hey, Chris, I'm sorry to call." Don't be sorry.
You know what? When I
It's like,
think it's
no.
like sometimes people think the misconception that real estate or like a realtor is kind of like a side thing, and like that's a career. It's a career that you chose to get into, and it's a professional career. And I've heard that even in marketing, right? People will sometimes tell me like, "Oh, well, what do you do?" And I tell them, "Oh, create content and stuff like that." Yeah, but what do you do? And I'm like, "Well, that's my job. It's my full-time job." Like, so I feel like there's a big misconception sometimes of what success can look like in a career, because it doesn't have to be 9 to 5, right? One thing I wanted to ask you is, how do you guys deal with comparison? Is it kind of a big deal in real estate? 'Cause you said there's like around 1,500 agents, right?
There's 3,000, but like 1,500 that produce, or like 1,000 only, right? So I
always
only
find yourselves like comparing a lot of times. I know you said like you follow a lot of agents, you're looking at content. Do you feel sometimes comparison takes over?
That's one of my flaws, bro. I hate it. Like I always compare myself to the better agent, right? Because I know I shouldn't, but I always look at it like, damn, I want to be better. I want to be better. I'm always trying to be better. So I look at agents who are better than me. Kind of like, I don't want to say mentor, but I mean, I'm looking at someone better than me so I could reach that one day.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks because sometimes you get discouraged. You're like, oh, fuck, I should be doing more, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, and I always read books and I always see in seminars, like, don't compare yourself, just compare yourself to yourself that you were yesterday, which makes sense, right? But it's always in front of me with social media. This agent already closed another one, blah, blah, blah. This agent's marketing is on point. I want to do this next time. So I guess it goes with every business. Every business, you always see someone doing better than you and you want to be there or kick their ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like comparison is inevitable, right? But it's the way you handle that comparison. Like if you take it as an educational purpose, or if you take it like as, again, maybe like a flaw, but you're aiming to fix that, right? Because comparison, yeah, it's a killer of dreams. It kills your dreams. Sometimes it kind of makes you stumble on a walk that you're already going on. So I feel like for anybody that is comparing themselves, let's say right now, trying to create content in real estate, they should just start creating content. A lot of the times people think that they have to be unique in their approach, but the thing I tell a lot of our clients, and when we shoot videos and stuff like that, I tell them it's better to just even mimic somebody and create it like on your own, but to be able to just put content out. One of the main things that I want to ask you is, like, how important do you feel branding is for anybody in the industry? Is it
super?
Yeah, is it like primary branding as a focus, or is there something that comes before that? What do you feel?
I think for any business, marketing, branding yourself is super important. For us as realtors, especially since as an agent, you can pay like Zillow to give you leads. So you could just do that, but you have to pay Zillow some of your commission. For Chris and I, we actually just get our own clients by social media, branding ourselves. Both of us get most of our clients through Instagram. So for us, we really, really have to push our marketing. And I also like that we use our personal lives to, like, we don't have to separate accounts. So people can know us and trust us. And it makes the whole process a lot better, because when you're working with people that already know you, it's just a better process. They're comfortable, you're comfortable, and it's a better experience.
You know, bro, exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it's better to spend money on your brand, on yourself, than to spend money on just buying leads. Why? Because those leads that you buy, you're probably not going to click with them. They're probably going to be a type of person that you wouldn't necessarily want to work with. But you paid for that lead, so you kind of feel indebted to help them, which kind of sucks. I'd rather have someone reach out to me directly, like, hey, Chris, I know who you are. I know how you are. I want to work with you, regardless.
Yeah.
And then the more people you get like that, the more referrals you're gonna get, because that buyer's friends are probably like them too, so they're probably gonna like you as well. So I've always been a big believer in branding, video marketing, showing your face, just being on top of mind, instead of having to go buy your leads, which a lot of agents do that, and they're very successful. Even more than us. I mean,
and it's
a lot
harder,
of
for us, because we're not getting any leads given to us.
Yeah,
so we really
some referral base and stuff like that. And so, talking about like clients that it's kind of hard to work with, what has been one of like the craziest real estate, or like let's say one of the hardest clients you've ever had to deal with?
Well, I've worked with a single client for like 2-3 years, and he didn't want to buy a house. I was there showing. I would go show this client a model, and then the person sitting the model, he's like, bro, don't waste your time. 3 agents before you have been working with this client for years.
Chris has a lot of patience.
I have so much patience, bro, like ridiculous patience. And I mean, I'll work until I've never had a situation where I can't handle the client and I fire them.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. I'm like so, and I tell you about the stories that I have. She's like, how the fuck do you do that? Like I would have already been done with that. But I stick with it, and it works out, because that client that I work with forever, I mean, I got like 4 deals off of him, not just one. So it always works out. I'm thankfully I'm very patient. And it helps me. Yeah, it helps me a lot.
And what's like one of the worst things that you've seen like in a home when you're showing? Last time I saw a real estate agent show that they walked in and they found like a little cage inside of like a kid's room, and I was like,
oh shit, yeah. Damn.
It was intense.
What the fuck? Was it a dog kennel?
No, it was like a person.
Bro, what? I can't beat that. No, I've had mushrooms growing out of the carpet.
Oh wow. Like shrooms or
a fucking mushroom. Like the house it looked okay, but there was so much mold underneath that mushrooms were growing out of the carpet, and it's just like, nah.
Did you try once?
Bro, no, we had to cancel the contract, and I was trying to save it. I'm like, no, just cut it off. That's fine. Just pull it out. You're fine. But I'm like, nah.
That's health hazard for free.
Yeah, bro. What house I had?
You've seen that?
You see that I've seen, besides kind of scheduling for a showing and walking in, because you get in contact with the listing agent, you let them know that you're going to go, and sometimes the sellers don't end up stepping out or they forget. So just walking into a showing and then the sellers are there, or they're like watching TV. So it's just super awkward when that happens. And then the buyers feel like, oh my God, what's going on? So that's pretty much the craziest.
Nothing crazy like somebody coming out of the shower or anything.
No, nothing like that.
No, so one thing too I wanted to ask is, how do you feel in El Paso like older real estate agents, what is it that they can be doing right now for branding? Like you guys are established already. What is a tip? I know you gave us a tip for new real estate agents, but something for real estate agents in the game already with their hands in.
To share their knowledge. I mean, I think as new agents, like for me, I didn't want to do a lot of video because I didn't know much about the business. It takes a while to get to know how to work as a realtor, because what you take, like the classes that you take, the schooling that you take for real estate is completely different from actually working. So you as a veteran realtor, you have all the knowledge, you know, you've worked with a lot of clients, so don't be scared to start making videos, show what you've done and share what you know.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's actually a really good tip, because going into any industry, it's hard to find that information, right? It's hard to find, like even starting a new business, we were just talking about this yesterday, it's hard to find like resources. So if you're an established agent, I feel like if you can collaborate with any new agent or more established agents, you'll learn. I come at life always as a student. So even if I feel like I might know more, sometimes I still learn something from that, you know?
Yeah.
I know you do a lot of that. You do a lot of educating on your social media. Are you building Gil Realty as a brand? Are you building it like for real estate agents that are established, or is it for new?
Pretty much new, because I want to teach the newer agents how to become successful. How I started, I want to teach them all that I learned from beginning. So that's what I'm focusing more on, because it's a little bit harder to train experienced agents because they already have their own way of doing business. It's a little bit harder, but I mean, I'm always taking people in, so
yeah,
I would love to mentor people.
And just before we go, I want to know, what is one challenge that you feel real estate agents need to overcome, like that you both have faced? What is one challenge that you'll face as a real estate agent, and how can you overcome it?
Fear. Just fear for me was not knowing kind of what to do, or, you know, even speaking with escrow officers, just get out there. And because when you're in a real estate transaction, you're dealing with lenders, with escrow officers, with inspectors, appraisers. So just to get out there and don't have fear to ask any questions if you don't know.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
you're looking at her like, oh man, that was
Yeah. But repeat the question, so I kind of.
So what challenge do you feel like every real estate agent faces when starting, and how do you overcome that challenge?
I think finding your niche, like what are you going to be good at? A lot of agents are good at cold calling. A lot of agents are good at either door knocking or, like how we said, buy leads, social media. What's another one? Open houses. You have to, once you start, try everything. Try all those lead sources. And then whatever you like, whatever you're good at, just go all in. Like me, I tried everything. And I was good at open houses, and I was good at marketing online. So I just stick to that, what works for me. And I always get these. I get good clients. It works for me. I tried the cold calling. I've tried, doing all types of marketing. But I believe for me, it's always been easier with the videos, the social media, the Facebook, Instagram, and open houses. So yeah, just look for something that you think you're going to be good at and then go all in. But let me ask you, what do you as a consumer want to see more of, like any agent?
Yeah.
What do you like to see so we could kind of improve? Because I'm always looking to improve our business, right? Or anybody else.
Different that we can do.
To me, as a consumer, I would like to see, like, realistically what I need to do, right? So let's say right now I'm looking at trying to purchase a property. Realistically, I feel like I'm always getting hit with fear. So like I see the market shifting, like it's too much information from all sides. And it's either that the market is great, the market is down, or that it's not a good time to buy, or it is the right time to buy, or it's never the wrong time to buy. I hear that constantly. But as a consumer, I feel more education is needed. Because yes, you've heard it time and time again, but things change, things change in your life, things change in your situation. A lot of the times you think that you have below 600 credit score, you can't get a home. That's not often true. I've experienced different people that have gotten homes below 600. And those are just like the things, like tips of how to improve your credit, tips on how to start looking for a property. A lot of the times we don't even know, and I learned this from you, is like, go get a pre-approval first before you go look at a property, because you get your hopes up, right? You're thinking like you can afford an $800,000 home and you're like at $90,000 and you're looking at.
And we see that a lot, especially working new home construction. There's always the buyers that go in, they're not even pre-qualified, they have no guidance. So that's like a big tip for all buyers to first get that pre-qual letter. At least so sometimes you can just call a lender and pretty much let them know how much you make, how long you've been. They're going to ask you questions, and they don't have to run your credit if you don't want to. But they'll pretty much let you know where you stand. Yeah. And that way you can get an idea.
And I know you said, what can you show the consumer? Show us, like, don't tell us. So I feel like that's a cool thing to keep in your head as a real estate agent, is show us what we need to do. Like, don't tell us on camera. Everybody's doing that, But if you show us what's available for the target market that you're actually trying to target, I feel that that's what is most important. So realtor tool.
By showing us, do you mean like storytelling too, kind of with our clients?
Yeah, like people love rants for some reason. They love when you go on there, you're talking about a real story and being real. And I think people are so tired of like the fake scripted content that they really are looking for authenticity in all sorts of platforms for their life. So they're looking for it for business, they're looking for it for marriage, they're looking for it for family. And in this case, they're looking for it for real estate. So real estate, it's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your life. And one of the biggest goals, right, for everybody. So I think showing the authenticity behind the camera, not just trying to show a perfect face. And I feel like you guys do that a lot, but more agents should come forth and do a lot more of that.
Thank you for tuning in today, and we can't wait for the next one. We'll see you guys.